Hello and welcome to the ancient city of Odense for finals day at the Yonex Denmark Open, presented by Denisa. This is one of the oldest tournaments in the sport of badminton, having first been staged in 1935. Nowadays, it's part of the elite tier of tournaments in the world of badminton, the Super Series. In fact, as you can see, it's the 9th event on the 12-tournament MetLife BWF World Super Series. Not only the 9th event, but also the 4th of 5 premier events, an even higher tier of tournament within the Super Series. All England, Malaysia, Indonesia, Denmark and China, those 5 premier events. And of course, at the end of the year, we have the Super Series finals as well. Well, as I say, it is finals day, and all 5 finals, we're starting with mixed doubles. And Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na appearing today in their first ever Premier Super Series final. They're up against Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir, who are today appearing in their 4th consecutive final here in Denmark. Then we've got women's doubles and the qualifiers, Jung and Xing, trying to become the first ever qualifiers to win a women's doubles Super Series title. But it's a tall order. They're up against the world and Olympic champions, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. Then we've got men's doubles and Lee Yongdae and Yu Young-sung, the 2013 winners, appearing in their 3rd consecutive final here, having been beaten in the final a year ago. They're up against more qualifiers, Liu Cheng and Lu Kai. Then women's singles and the defending champion, Lee Shui-rei, also happens to be the Olympic champion. And what a day for PV Sindhu of India. This is her first ever Super Series tournament final. Then we finish with men's singles. The 2-time world champion Chen Long going for his 3rd consecutive Denmark Open title, his 4th in total. He's up against Tommy Sugiarto of Indonesia. Well, I'm Jill Clark, delighted to say that sitting alongside me is former head coach to the Denmark team, Steen Pedersen. There you can see our matchup. Our first final is the mixed doubles. Sung-hyun, the number 7 seeds, he's playing with Kim Ha-na up against the number 2 seeds, Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir. Well, as we wait for the players to come on to court, Steen, it is a wonderful thing that since the Super Series came into existence, this is the 4th time that all 5 finals have been contested by players from different nations. Well, this is the Super Series standings at the moment for the mixed doubles, and despite losing in the 2nd round, Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei will remain number 1, as indeed will the Indonesian pair. Whether they win or lose today, Ahmad and Natsir will still be number 2. As far as Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na are concerned, if they win, they'll go up 3 places to number 3. If they're beaten in today's final, they'll only go up 2 places to number 4. Well, that's always a good thing as well, isn't it, to see 4 different nations in semi-final stage. Quarterfinals, there's one notable and absentee, and that, of course, is the world and Olympic champions. I was just telling you about Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei. They will still remain as number 1 on the Destination Dubai list, but they lost in the 2nd round. That was a huge surprise. Lost to that Korean pair right at the top of the draw, Shin and Che. So, Steen, yes, all 5 finals, mixed nationalities contesting all 5 finals. 4th time that's happened, it's good.
Very interesting finals we got up here. Some new names on the block. I noticed that Korea are participating in 3 finals, all 3 doubles finals. Had Sung Ji-hyun in the women's singles as well, but they're on a roll. Korea have had a great tournament here.
So, first of all, it is Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na of Korea. And we'll come back to your point in a minute, Steen, because Korea's strength in doubles really is quite awesome. It's been that way for some considerable time, but what an occasion for this Korean pair. Their first ever Premier Super Series tournament final. The former world champions, Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir. A 4th consecutive final here at the Denmark Open. 3 times they've lost in the final. The last 3 years. 3 years ago, they lost to Shu Chen and Ma Jin. 2 years ago, they lost to Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei. And then last year, they once again lost to Zhu Chen and Ma Jin. Will it be fourth time lucky? Now, we noticed that yesterday, didn't we? The back support for 25-year-old Kim Ha-na. Kim Ha-na, the odd one out on court, because of course she's the only player who hasn't won a World Championship gold medal. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? She's a wonderful player, and we thought yesterday she was in tremendous form.
Yeah, she really has improved, at least since we saw her in the Sudirman Cup, where she was a little bit off form. But very interesting match to see if the Koreans can challenge the number 2 seeds.
Yes, indeed. This is one I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to all the finals, actually. But this one, I think, could be very intriguing. He really is a physically strong athlete, is the 28-year-old Go Sung-hyun. We saw a couple of dives from him yesterday. He's never adverse to throwing himself around the court in an effort to retrieve the shuttle. And it's always very dramatic and exciting to watch. Well, they are number 7 seeds. They are also number 7 in the world rankings at the moment, but they have been as high as 5, a total of 12 weeks at number 5 in the world ranking. As we saw, they're number 6 on the Super Series ranking, and prior to this year, the best they'd done in this tournament was a quarter-final. They won the Chinese Taipei Grand Prix Gold earlier this year, and you look at their path through to today's final. 3 games in the second round, and then in the quarterfinal, they defeated the defending champions and 2-time winners, Zhu Chen and Ma Jin, in 3 games. Yesterday, well, it was disappointment for the home fans because the 3-time former champions, Walker Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen, beaten by this Korean pair in 2 straight games. So to the number 2 seeds, number 2 in the world ranking, Tontowi Ahmad, 28 years of age, Liliyana Natsir, now 30, turned 30 last month. They really have a very consistent record this year. This their 4th final in their 11th tournament of the year. Won the Asian Championships, lost in the final of the All England and the Koreans. So this their 3rd Premier Super Series final this year. Well, they had a bit of a battle in the second round, didn't they, against the Singapore pair, Danny Krishnanta and Vanessa Neo. 3 games there, as indeed in the quarterfinal against the number 8 seeds, Lu Kai and Wang Xiaoxiong. Then in the semi-final yesterday, they beat the number 4 seeds and the World Championship silver medalists, Liu Cheng and Bao Yi-sin. Well, they really have been in good form now. This is the 6th meeting between the 2 pairs, and the last time they met was just last month in the quarterfinal stage of the Japan Super Series. And as you can see, 2 straight games for Go Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na. That is the only time this year that the Indonesian pair have lost prior to a semi-final. I told you they were consistent. Here's our umpire for this, Wolfgang Lund, and Artyom Arno of Estonia is our service judge. Well, neither of these pairs have won a Super Series title so far in 2015. They have both won Super Series titles previously. As far as the Koreans are concerned, only 1 Super Series title. That was last year in Australia, when appearing in their 3rd Super Series tournament final. But as far as the Denmark Super Series is concerned, of course, the Super Series came into existence in 2007. And here at the Denmark Open, only China or Denmark has ever won the mixed doubles title in that period of time. In fact, the last Koreans to win the Denmark Open, you go back before the Super Series, you go back 12 years to Kim Dong-moon and Ra Kyu-min. As far as the Indonesians are concerned, the last Indonesians, you have to go back even further, 14 years, 2001, for Trikush Arianto and Irma Irmawati.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Go Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na, Korea. And on my left, Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir, Indonesia. Kim Hana to serve to Liliyana Natsir. Love all, play.
So the number 7 seeds, Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na, against the number 2 seeds, Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir.
Love.
Just missed it. And Steen, how much do you think it plays on players' minds? I mean, for the Indonesians, this is their 4th consecutive final here. You know, does it play on an athlete's mind? Am I ever going to win this one?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think they will take this match as a one-off match, and they definitely would like to get a Super Series win this year, I think.
Yeah.
Because that would boost their confidence. But I don't think they think too much about the past. It would be another case if they'd never won a Super Series or never won a good title, then perhaps it would be in the back of their minds, but right now I don't think so.
Love.
Oh, the reason I mentioned that is because I certainly experienced that. I was in 7 British Open finals in 6 years, and I didn't win one of them.
No.
And I began to think, I'll never win one of them. Well, that's probably why they're champions, and I never achieved the heights that the Indonesian pair have achieved. Well, it's a very, very good start by the Indonesians, isn't it?
Yeah. I had a little debate with myself who I saw as the favorite, and I came to the conclusion that I think the Indonesians are the favorite in this match, even though they lost the previous meeting to the Koreans. I think they've played well this tournament and have been able to find answers whenever the opponent has asked them some questions. They've responded well, and I think the Koreans also have played really well and responded very well yesterday when they fell behind in the first game against the Danes, came back in the first game, won it, and totally dominated the match. But I still think they're a little bit more inconsistent. So if they are on top of their game, we're in for a treat, I think.
Yeah.
1-6.
It's a little bit more likely, in my opinion, that the Indonesians will take the victory. Wow.
2-6. Let's play a let.
Yeah. I don't think he saw that hand from Ahmad Sung-hyun. He's not really looking too much at his opponent when serving.
Total confusion. Yeah, both leaving it for the other.
3-6.
Oh, great shot.
You need your racket.
So that's a good deception. If you can make the opponents lose their racket.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Good gracious.
4-6.
Once again.
Yeah.
And Ahmad used the opportunity to change the shuttle, and I don't think the Koreans were too satisfied about that.
No.
Oh, great coverage.
Yeah.
I think the Koreans have worked a lot on the specific tasks of Kim Ha-na. What is she actually to cover, and what will Sung-hyun cover? And we know, of course, that he can cover an awful lot of court.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Well, this is an extraordinary start to the final. 6 straight points to the Indonesians, followed by 6 straight points to the Koreans. Yeah, I think they've been working on her soft play too.
Yeah.
And awareness of where the gaps are.
Yeah, and that she has to focus on the net. She's not to be focused backwards. We see that sometimes that the female players in mixed doubles are focused backwards. But the main, or the first priority is to win the net. If you can win the net against the opponents, you have a very good chance of winning the match.
Oh, there we go. Oh! I very nearly made good contact with the second one. The odds were stacked against him. But here we are. Here's the dive.
6.
Good service.
Oh, look at that defence. Oh, couldn't capitalise. Beautiful defence there from Liliyana Natsir. Look at that.
And we discussed that yesterday, that maybe it's actually a better idea for the opponents today, the Koreans, to direct a lot of their attack against Tontowi Ahmad, because he tends to not be so strong in turning it around as Liliyana Natsir. Or at least you can't target Natsir if you're out of position yourself. Well played. Whoa, another dive.
My goodness. I told you he was exciting to watch. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I think perhaps his philosophy, following your thought process as well, but that wasn't the right opportunity to smash on Ahmad. Going cross court like that and leaving a huge gap.
10-7.
Yeah, simple put away.
Yeah.
Miss-hit defensive shots.
Ko sets it up for a kill by Kim Ha-na, and that's not unimportant to sort of provide your playing partner self-confidence by winning points.
Unbelievable. Oh. Fabulous rally. And the three-time beaten finalists. The Indonesians have a 3-point advantage at the mid-game interval.
자세가 빨리 가서 빨리 쬐주는 거는 미끼란 말이야.
29
빨리
shots.
닦여주는 거는 내려놓고. 지금처럼 맞아 여자한테 손으로 때리고
What
남자
a
때리고.
variety of attacking shots we got there.
하나야.
Steep ones, cross ones, flat ones. They tried everything and eventually prevailed.
이렇게 자꾸 제가 빼잖아. 절대 먼저 안 올린단 말이야, 뺀단 말이야. 그래서 중간볼 안전하게 또. 직선마다 중간으로 놔둬야 돼, 중간으로. 계속 중간으로 한번 내가 대학으로 밀어버리는 거야. 어? 중간으로 한번 붙여봐, 중간으로.
Well, it's been a very good start to this final, hasn't it?
Kita banyak nggak poinnya kalau mereka servis tuh. Jangan terlalu kalem pembukaannya. Ya tadi sekali-sekali kamu sodok aja, panjangin dikit ya biar ganggu. Jadi kalau kamu kalem doang dia udah satu-satu tuh, teng. Ya. Depannya tuh gitu, sering-sering kamu rem nggak enak dia.
Over with
Ya.
Yanto.
Jadi kalau belakang kalau nggak enak, kamu stop
there.
kanan cewek cowoknya tuh nggak enak
Enkian.
feelingnya. Tapi kalau sini dia bisa ngatur tuh. Terus ini nggak terlalu enak dia. Stop turun ke kanannya aja. Ya. Ayo fokus tuh kalau pas pembukaan tuh. Ya. Defense-nya gitu, Ted. Ya, kamu teng enak tuh berapa kali. Dia nggak enak tuh. Jangan gini-gini terus, kamu atur aja. Ya. Ayo.
Yeah, it's good variation on the angle and
Very good variation, and I think that's part of the Indonesians' game plan. We know that the Koreans, they have a quite solid defense, and especially here in this arena here where there's not a whole lot of drift. So really important to keep the opponents guessing.
Service over, 9.
no service short. We do have front service line judges here for the finals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent coverage by Kim Hana. It's so important to be alert and have a good strategy for these transition phases where the female player tries to make her way to the net, whether it's the Korean girl or Natsir, as we saw here.
Oh. Kim Hana so sharp during this tournament at the front of the court. I think that's one choice of shot from Liliyana Natsir.
It's great coverage, and she can be almost certain that it's going to be played back at her again because Natsir is going to challenge at the net. That's what she does, and that's what she's good at.
No, back level. 4-point deficit has been closed.
12 all.
Excellent return.
Yes, good interception to finish it off from Natsir.
And there's not many female players who goes for that in the backhand.
It's brilliant, isn't it? She has such an understanding and reading of the game.
I think Sung-hyun missed a chance to throw himself there.
Yeah. Got herself in a bit of a muddle, didn't she, at the back of the court there? But it emphasises the point you've just made about that transition phase when you've been pushed to the back as a female player. You want to get into the net.
You got to have a plan, or preferably several plans. So if the first
Yeah.
one is not working out, you can try something else. But here she got covered in somewhere in between, caught somewhere in between. Interesting that the Indonesians are serving towards the sideline from the right service field.
To both players.
This time to Kim Ha-na, but we've seen Natsir do it to Ko Sung-hyun as well.
Oh, that's well taken. Goodness me, she has improved so much, hasn't she?
14 all.
She has lifted the combination, because she definitely was the weaker part in Sudirman Cup, where they lost 2 out of the 3 games. I think perhaps the Indonesians will try to push the shuttle 5-10 centimeters further into the court when they're playing the net, and that would spell trouble for Kim Ha-na, where she might still try to intercept, but she will have a much greater risk of committing mistakes. You've seen earlier that Natsir is so good at that, hitting in between the 2 opponents.
16-14.
Good rally.
Great defense by Natsir, who turns it around.
Very good rally. Come on.
Well played. Well played by the Indonesians, and also by the Koreans, actually. Excellent rally.
Efter denne kamps første sæt skriver Jochen Fischer autografer op i badmintonlandopstanden på første sæt. Du er efter første sæt.
17-14. Lane.
She's very alert,
Yeah.
Kim Ha-na.
Fifteen, 17. Service over.
Yeah, it may look like a nothing return of serve, but it's extremely clever and extremely
18,
effective.
15.
What does a player do? Do they try and take it on the forehand side, or do they try and take it on the backhand? It's that little awkward area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Service over. 16, 18.
This was where the Koreans were really good yesterday. They've been playing catch-up all this first game and managed to steal it anyway. Yeah,
Yeah,
well played.
yeah, and that was the decisive move forward.
Yeah, it was. And also that Ko Sung-hyun chose to attack on Ahmad. And I think if Sung-hyun is standing directly opposite Liliyana Natsir, it would actually be much better to make a cross drop towards Ahmad and see if he can move himself in a position so he is directly opposite Ahmad and then attack him. Because it's simply too dangerous to attacking Liliyana Natsir because she turns it around. Oh. 6 power smashes. 7.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's so important, the willingness to work hard. We've seen him play softer smashes, ankle smashes. Now he works really, really hard for 7 shots in a row. What a great player. Oh, that's good placement.
It is, isn't it? Across the body, aiming towards probably that left shoulder.
And it's only a few centimeters. If it's a little bit more to the left, it's directly into the forehand of Kim Han-na, and they're in dire straits.
Two points for this opening game. And 2 points the advantage.
Two good service returns from Natsir. Lately.
Service over. 18-19.
Done well, haven't they? Back level. You said in the latter stages they were good. 19 all.
And this man here, Sung-hyun, he's quite a bit better than Tontowi Ahmad when he's just a little bit below the tape.
Great
That's
play.
excellent play by the Koreans here.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it earlier in this tournament. Why serve short services to Natsir and be an underdog in the rally instead of flicking her and being equal? You just need a plan for what you want to do after you flicked her.
Yeah.
And that was perfectly executed by Ko and Kim.
Yeah, and that perfectly executed rally means that they have a game point opportunity. I wasn't sure that wasn't going wide.
And anyway, she probably should have left it to Ko.
Yeah.
He was just behind her playing shadow badminton.
Yeah.
The first one, he would have had a great opportunity to control it. Got a little bit too greedy there. Kim Han-na.
So 20 all. And extra points required until it's a clear 2-point winning margin.
Great play by Ahmad. Excellent.
Yeah.
Soft-paced shots, both of them. And he leaps exactly, it's exactly the same look as if he's power smashing.
Yeah, delightful. So having just saved a game point, now the Indonesians have a game point themselves. Yes. Well played. Yeah. And the reaction, especially from Liliyana Natsir. She knows that opening game so important.
Liliyana Natsir, 22.
I thought she did awfully well on the third shot too.
Yeah.
25 minutes for that opening game.
그냥 다 잊어먹고 괜찮아.
Delightful block.
하나
Look, Natsir actually has a chance to intercept, but in a split second, she knows that, oh, my partner will have a better position.
그때 급하게 치면 빨리 와버려.
So confirmation, 22-20 in 25 minutes.
게임 되니까 제대로 서비스 가졌을 때 점수만 몰점 안 주면 돼. 좀 신중하게 옆에 놔주고.
Kang Kyun-jin here
잘했어 아까.
offering advice to
자세가
the
어렵게
Korean
나면
side.
돼. 되잖아. 자세가 어렵다 그냥 강히 치려니까 미스가 난단 말이야. 자 잊어먹고 그랬더니 이제 체력적으로 우리가 유리할 거야. 그래서 좀 많이 뛴다고 생각하고 중간볼 보고 또 내주고 하나 좀 빨리 움직여주고 또 서비스에 한두 개로 점수 주면 안 돼. 어떻게 내려가야 돼 하나. 또 같이 예전에 올라가면은 올리고 그 다음부터는 딱 들어가면서 만들어주고 생이도 마찬가지고 예전에 올리고 다 당겨서 킥만 크게 하면 남자가 못 때린다고. 자 처음부터 다시 처음에 초반에
I thought he looked actually reasonably satisfied. Kang Kyun-jin, his coaching already left the court. Took his place on the coaching chair.
Kamu pasti tuh. Ya, lebih enak nungguin. Ya. Lo kalau ditaruh ke belakang, lo kan clearnya pas kamu enak, jangan pas
Only one of the Indonesian coaches has won a title here at the Denmark Open. Eng Kiam won in 2000 with Flande Limpele men's doubles.
dia langsung sweet.
I was quite surprised that Nobel Widianto never won
Jangan buru-buru masuk.
this Denmark Open with Liliyana Natsir.
Jangan di tengah. Ya.
One of the few titles they haven't won. They were a wonderful pair. 2 world titles, of
Hampir
course.
sama, tapi kalau habis tembak lu dipanjangin. Kalau pas pojokin aja kalau nggak kuat. Jangan ke tengah. Ya, kalau pas mau nyerang, pas lagi enak lo buka nggak apa-apa sekali-sekali. Butet kalau di belakang.
It always makes us chuckle and smile, doesn't it? The two different coaches speaking independently to the two different players.
But it actually makes sense here because Nova Widianto, a great backcourt player in the mixed doubles, and Eng Kiam, an equally great net player in the men's doubles together with Flande Limpele. So he could sort of use some of his experience to guide Liliyana Natsir.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And if you're that experienced that Natsir is, then you certainly need some experts to advise you. And it's small things that she has to pick up on. She has, when the smash comes from Ahmad, she has from the shuttle passes her from behind until the opponent returns to sort of judge whether she's going to be in action here and where the opponent probably will return the shuttle.
3-1.
A number of times we see younger, inexperienced players, they turn around to see if their partner actually is going to retrieve the shuttle, and that will sort of divert their attention from the next shot that they're going to make.
Well, the body language of Kim Ha-na after that rally a little bit concerning. Very disappointed with herself.
He's serving well, Ahmad, at the moment. Very hard to do anything about it.
Oh, look at her movement there. Well, despite her look of disappointment after the previous rally, that's a great response.
Yeah, and it's so important, and I think often we, as outsiders, we say, oh, they're a little bit sad now, and you're allowed to be sad. You just have to sort of get over it and be ready for the next rally.
Yeah.
3-4.
Oi, she
Was
missed that
cool,
one.
good. Challenge
Yeah,
heads
that's
has
a
got to
challenge.
be a challenge.
Kim, no challenges called in.
It was immediate from Sung-hyun, but
Yeah.
Kang Kyun-jin on the chair was almost...
Oh, look, that's not even close in badminton terms, is it?
No.
Dear, oh dear.
And the linesman looking behind to the big screen, waiting for the verdict. It's not going to be good.
Correction out.
And certainly not that spot where it was like 10 centimeters out.
4 all play.
Well, thank goodness for Hawkeye, because the whole point
Yeah.
is that the correct and fair decision must be made in the end,
Yeah,
or should be made in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, good flick serve.
I would advise them to flick almost every single time to Natsir, because the point is you might not get an advantage out of it, but you won't be at a deficit immediately after her next shot.
Yeah.
And it will get her away from where she's confident. That's a great interception by Kim Ha-na.
Brilliant.
And now they're taking like, what, six
Straight points. Six
After
straight-
she looked a little bit
Yeah.
down.
But isn't that wonderful
Yeah.
that, you know, there's me getting concerned about her,
Yeah.
her mental state, and, you know, they always say the test of a champion is how you fight back after disappointment or through adversity.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 7 straight points.
I've tried that think positive attitude. I tried to induce that into some of the players when I was a coach, and I'm sort of ashamed when I think back of it, because you can't control how you're thinking. If you're thinking negatively, okay, accept it and get over it, and then you still have to play even if you're thinking negatively.
Yeah.
Oh, great defense by Ahmad.
Yeah, another clever placement.
Yeah, and
Slightly flatter.
exactly, a flat smash, and there's a big opportunity for Natsir to intercept, even if Kim Ha-na would return this one.
Kim,
So the only choice for Kim is to raise her racket and sort of counter-attack it. But she never knows whether it's a very steep shot from Ahmad or this flat one.
Oh, look at that defence.
Yeah.
service over.
Crikey. How did he generate that power? Take a look at this. There's no backswing.
9-5.
It's all about the fingers and forearm strength.
That is amazing.
That was what the Koreans wanted before when Ahmad made the cross return. The soft shot there, where Ahmad has to sort of gauge the speed he puts into the shuttle himself.
Service over. Six, 10.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
How did she reach that? It's a great rally.
It's long.
Yeah.
But
Service over, 11-6.
Kim Ha-na has a little bit of problems in taking herself to the net when she's on the backcourt. Let's see if the Indonesians are picking up on that. Not that good at maneuvering herself to the net as we've seen Natsir do several times.
So a 5-point advantage for the Koreans in the second game. Yeah, you're right. Eng Kiang very definitely talking about the interceptions at the net. Nova Widianto, what Tontowi Ahmad should be doing from the back.
Bolanya paruh-paruhnya kalau nggak enak banget nggak usah ditekan ya. Ya.
Enjoyed some good results when he was coaching in Singapore, Eng Kiang.
잘 따라가고 있어. 잘 따라가고 있는 거야. 어? 자, 하나 놓고 끝내지 말고 지금처럼 따라가지. 따라가서 건드려주면 안 돼. 그걸 갖다가 차라가 만들고 내려놓고. 잘하고 천천히. 자, 여기서 이제 제대로 세트 잡았을 때 몰점 주면 안 돼. 그럼 붙여준단 말이야. 한 점 두점 주더라도 한 점 따라가고 무조건 스타일 가야 된다는 거야. 무리하게 하지 말고 다시 올라오면 내려놓고 다시. 자, 얘들한테 또 올려놓으면 두 번째는 만들어주고. 승인아.
11-6.
승인아, 힘내.
Play.
Unable to understand what he said, Kang Kyung-jin, from the body language and the tone of his voice. He seems like a very pleasant coach. Not at all sort of raising the tension level with his players, but seems like he's reinforcing them and supporting them well.
He was a very nice partner to play with as well. I played one tournament with him. He kept turning to me and smiling and giving me encouragement. We didn't understand the thing we were saying to each other, but it was great fun. He is a nice guy.
And a great player.
Fantastic player.
Played with Hatequan in men's doubles.
Yeah, won the 1997 All England.
Against Jon Horst Christensen and Michael Sogard.
Also a World Championship bronze medalist. 1999 in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
It's a nice change of pace again, isn't it?
You see, it's impossible to put pressure on Natsir unless you're in a very, very good position. She just stands there and defends herself.
But it's a nice idea. I like, even though she made the mistake.
Yeah,
you know,
blocking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Liliyana Natsir.
Three straight points.
She's taking it too low. Kim Ha-na. There's not a lot of margin for error there. Oi.
Oh my! Oh! Well, once again, a super rally. And once again, Kim Ha-na trying to do the right thing on the final shot. Well, making the error. This exchange was extraordinary. Kim Ha-na.
Please be. No, please be back and forth.
Interception after interception from him.
Oi.
Oh, luck of the neckboard. My goodness me.
Service over.
And the Koreans just felt needed that because they'd just lost the previous 4 points. This is his physical strength, isn't it? You know, his movement, he was caught out really, but his physical strength of those powerful legs, getting himself in a position where he can return it.
And it's also his sort of agility that leaves room for Kim Han-na to concentrate on the net.
15-10.
In a certain translation from football, we could say that 70% of the earth is covered by water and the last is covered by Sung-hyun. And the rest.
Clever drop shot.
And he mixes it up really well, Ahmad.
Yeah, look what a bent arm he's hit that with there.
Yeah. Sometimes these soft shots, soft-paced shots, and then suddenly he goes into overgear and fire powerful smashes away.
Thank you. Service over. 11-15.
She's falling a little bit behind Kim Han-na on the service returns. Again, very little room for success here. If it's just a little high over net, Natsir will be there immediately.
Oh. Oh! Missed opportunity. He knows it. Yeah.
I also think the direction was wrong. I think he should have put it back towards this man, Tontowi Ahmad.
Lovely touch at the net from Liliyana Natsir. Look at that, hit the top of the tape.
15.
Oh, this is extraordinary, isn't it? It was 7 points down at 6:13. Well taken.
That's not a formula for winning. Playing soft high shots to Liliyana Natsir.
Indonesians 9 of the last 11 points.
15-4.
Get themselves back level.
Another
Yep.
service mistake, service return mistake.
Yep,
And that has cost the Koreans dearly.
yep.
15.
And it's such a shame because in the rest of the game she's played so well.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that movement.
Service over.
Yeah, Tontowi looking a little concerned now.
All. Play a let.
Good flicker. Oi, mishit. That's wide.
17-16.
Oof, what a good serve, though.
And then it was the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Liliyana Natsir was trying to make a good return from her forehand. And she's had a little bit better touch lately than Kim Ha-na, but not this time. That's one of the things that I think that Ko Sung-hyun has improved, not lately, but when they won the World Championship in men's doubles in 2014. Until that time, a lot of some of the Koreans, including Lee Young-dae, had been struggling with their services, and suddenly they came to the World Championships, and you could see that they've been practicing.
Yeah.
19-16.
2 points away from this second game. Oh, that was a better return of serve. In fact, it was brilliant.
Service over. $17-19.
Yeah,
Well played.
steep smash.
Yeah.
But it was the one beforehand as well. That one there.
The cross court from his backhand side.
18-19.
Oh, who's got the nerve? Oh, that's fantastic.
Service over.
2 game point opportunities for the Koreans.
20, game point 18.
Remember, they had a game point opportunity in the first game but couldn't convert. It's gone long. This time they do. 21-18. And we will be treated to a third and deciding game.
Kim Ha-na, 21-18. 1 game all.
What a fabulous mixed doubles.
Nggak apa-apa ya. Ya.
48 minutes into the match,
Sering nafsu,
and it's 1
Tapi
game
poinnya kamu
apiece.
enak, aduh. Tang batas-batasin bola enak, naik kamu tukang ceweknya tak poin terus. Tapi pas giliran kamu unggul sama, kamu gini lagi tok. Bukan harusnya melenceng terus.
Yeah,
Enggak, kamu
well,
nenteng kamu.
got out the way, let it go long.
Tok, arah-arahnya tapi jangan nafsu. Yakin deh, ya. Yakin aja buangan lo enak tuh. Ya. Jangan penasaran, nembaknya ke ceweknya nggak bahaya, teng gitu doang. Kalau ke laki bahaya, kalau ke laki nurunin aja. Ya, mesti ngontrol itunya tuh, ya. Yakin aja. Ya.
Servis kayaknya poin terus nih.
Kenapa?
Biasanya kalau sana servis ini banyak poin. Sana banyak poin.
Sama, kamu servis, kamu juga udah banyak poin. Maka pembukaannya kalau lagi banyak ke body aja nggak apa-apa tuh, enak tuh. Ya, ceweknya roll nggak enak tuh. Keduanya kamu ambil.
Kenapa dia poin? Karena kamu pengen satu, masuk. Ada satu.
Jagain aja, manjang doang, jagain aja dulu.
Kontrol dulu, bukan nggak boleh matiin, tapi kamu kontrol dulu.
Karena poin mereka dari situ tuh. Harus stop dulu, Wi. Harus ngepres dulu, ayo deh. Jalan dulu aja bolanya gitu loh. Ya, yakin.
Kontrol emosinya, Wi.
Ya, ngaturnya nggak boleh mesti melenceng, Wi. Ada tok, ada penting ngatur terus aja, nggak usah nafsu.
Kiri-kiri, Wi. Lu melenceng ke kanan, kiri.
Mendingan sekalian.
Seems like Tontowi Ahmad has sort of raised a problematic issue that he sort of can't solve, and is getting advice on that. And if I should sort of deduct anything from the body language, it was a little bit about where to return the services and so on, because Ko Sung-hyun has been really good in both of the sides. So let's see if they'll Try and target his body in the service returns.
자, 뒤에 아웃 보고, 천천히. 급하면 안 돼. 막 내려주기도 막 참고 오잖아. 내려오면 돼. 한번. 그럼 비슷하게. 자, 요번에 왔을 때, 너도 드롭 한번 해. 드롭 해도 돼. 땡겨놓고 천천히. 이렇게. 오늘 드라이브 오는 거랑 밑에 오는 거 드라이브로 강히 쳐도 되고. 자신 있게. 점수 관리. 똑같이 잘 이기고 있다가 점수 관리란 말이야. 이게 뭐, 제대로 서비스가.
So third and deciding game.
1 love.
Well, I think both the women on court have realised that trying to push just slightly back from the net, both of them have been so alert today that they're trying to play tighter and tighter to the net, and in doing so are making 1 or 2 errors.
Yeah, or 3.
Yeah.
2 love.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
yeah, it
landed
stays
in.
in.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to go long.
Just held up enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, lovely change of pace. But what were you saying? Why smash on Liliyana Natsir?
Yeah.
Beautiful returns.
4 love.
Oh, that's well intercepted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Full stretch, Kim Ha-na.
A little bit of luck because she can't really control that shot with her arm fully stretched.
Natsir Ahmad challenges called out.
So, first challenge from the...
Yeah. And Kim, she looked back, but that's clearly out. Kim looked back at the umpire to see if it had been challenged. I think she was a little bit worried. She doesn't need to beat.
That was out.
Challenge unsuccessful. Ahmad Natsir, 1 challenge remaining. 5 love.
That's good judgment.
6
And what a start.
Yeah. Well, this is reminiscent of the opening game, only the opposite way round, isn't it? Because the Indonesians rushed to a 6-love lead. Well, I can tell you we're not seeing it, but Liliyana Natsir very much taking the commander's role and talking to her partner and saying what's got to happen, what they've got to try and do. Well, it was the powerful smash from Sung-hyun. Look at that. Body and soul into that one.
7
The short return.
love.
I think Ahmad will benefit from playing a little bit of a softer shot the first time he has the attacking possibilities.
Service over. 1-7.
Of course, it all depends on the situation. If it's very short, why not go for the powerful smash? And again, we see Kim Ha-na thinking a lot about the shot she missed, but it was actually a very good idea she had.
Oh, that's good placement.
7.
And you're right. I mean, that technically goes down as a drive, doesn't it? But it wasn't so much pace on it.
No.
It's great placement.
And could it be that shot that they discussed during the interval?
Quite possibly.
We saw that yesterday against was the Chinese combination, that they were playing a little bit more into the body of their opponents in the flat game.
Liu Cheng and Bao Yixing.
Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind that Ko Sung-hyun has the advantage over Ahmad in the flat game just around the tape. But what if it's directed to the center line instead of the sides?
Eng Yang nearest to us.
Oh, that's a bad serve. No!
Oh, my goodness, how did he get that back? Look, he slips. And then plays a winner. That's extraordinary, isn't it?
He simply breaks so hard that he falls backwards.
9-3.
Well, the Koreans quite happy to keep Liliyana Natsir at the back of the court. I was noticing that in the second game.
Yeah, but I've been thinking that she was quite good at maneuvering herself to the net.
That was desperately close.
Important for Natsir and Ahmad to score 2-3 points now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Go. Don't look at the screen.
Don't look at the screen. Was that?
Or flick the sweat, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Well, we've said she's improved.
Yeah.
That is an understatement. Look at that.
And here, the smash from that smash is not directed enough to the right side. We saw it in the first game that he was successful on that, where we mentioned that it's just a matter of centimeters before he's in big problems. And we saw that here. What happens if it's not accurate?
Yeah.
Tapi harus ada, jangan asal main. Ya, belakang kalau nggak enak atur dulu aja nggak apa-apa. Ya.
And that's what for the inexperienced viewer, it might seem that it doesn't really matter whether it's like 10 centimeters right or 10 centimeters left, but in fact it means the world.
Yeah.
Harus bisa yakin, masih bisa yakin, ya. Ayo, yakin, Wi. Tahan, Wi.
We sort of alluded to that during the women's doubles yesterday about the need for accuracy on the smashing, because if the women can defend, as we've seen in today's final, this mixed doubles final, defend the man's hardest smash, then
They
of
can
course
definitely defend the women's.
Exactly. So then it comes down to placement and angle.
Yeah.
앞에 여자한테 서비스 넣으면은 또
And
가만히 있으니까 나와버린단 말이야.
that requires a lot of split vision, because you need to sense how the opponent's positions are.
Yeah. So a 7-point advantage. Korean pair, number 7 seeds.
Yeah. Kim Hana almost got in the way of Ko Sung-hyun there.
12-4.
And it's tough times for the Indonesians now.
Yeah.
And we've seen that sometimes when they fall behind, that they tend to go for the quicker points, and it's rarely a good idea.
So what has happened? I mean, I know you've given one or two technical things, but is it purely that the Indonesians have partly gone off the boil, or is it that the Koreans have really started to play well. Real intensity.
I think the Koreans have played well.
Yeah.
I think they've gotten the game going on their sort of premises. Kim Ha-na has been excellent at the net. The only little thing to criticize is the service returns, but she's gotten well over it.
Look at that.
Excellent. And then Ko Sung-hyun, he gets really good working conditions from the backcourt, and he's just, in my opinion, a better mixed doubles player than Tontowi Ahmad.
Yeah.
Tontowi Ahmad is really, really strong above the tape. Ko Sung-hyun is the same, but he's also really, really good just a little below the tape where he can play flat back again with very high quality. Distinct trait of Korean mixed doubles players.
16-5.
Looks one-way traffic now, doesn't it?
But a very, very good match, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, one senses that it's almost now or never as far as the Indonesians are concerned.
Yeah.
Only one of those little runs they had at the start of the match.
We really have to see Natsir take a lot of responsibility and make interceptions like this.
Yeah.
Score some easy points on third shots after excellent services. So perhaps now we have the situation where Kim Ha-na is having a little problem when she's served directly to the T spot, where she has to return with the forehand, which suggests perhaps using the backhand. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good drive.
Yeah.
They did well to turn that around, didn't they?
And in many ways, it's significant for the game that the Koreans have been a little bit better overall in defense. Natsir has been excellent in defense, but Ahmad's defense is lacking a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's somehow he has too big a swing, and then he ends up taking it too late.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at the other players, and they're taking the shuttle out in front of him.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little too close to his body.
And Ko is, of course, used to defending the best men's double smashes,
Yeah.
whereas Ahmad is solely concentrating on mixed double. Great return from Natsir there.
He's landed in. Misjudgment. Yeah. Tontowi Ahmad kicks the shuttle away in frustration.
18.
He was in a good position, could have played it, but that's plumb on the line.
But if I'd only seen the Sudirman Cup and then being told that Ko Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na won the Premier Super Series in Denmark, I would say, how did that happen?
Yeah.
18.
But isn't it a lesson to everybody in world
It
badminton?
is.
Go away, look at your game, improve on the weaknesses.
Exactly. Practice.
Yeah. And specific practice. We can see that
Yeah.
with the Koreans. Not just sparring games if you need to get better at the net, as Kim Ha-na did. And now she's superb at the
Yeah.
net.
And that's a very important lesson, because, I mean, it's specific practice that pays off.
Yeah.
And people say about this 10,000 hour rule that you should do a thing 10,000 hours to be an expert, but you need to do it deliberately and be specific, because I've been driving a car for approximately 10,000 hours in my life right now, but I'm not anywhere near the Formula One drivers, because
No, exactly.
we
So
do all
it's
kinds
only-
of things.
Practice does not necessarily make perfect.
No.
It's only perfect practice that makes perfect.
Exactly.
It's gone long, and match point opportunities for the Koreans. Yeah. A first ever Premier Super Series title for Go Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na. It's only their second Super Series title in total, but they were absolutely superb today, beating the former world champions in an hour and 5 minutes. And for the Indonesians, well, heartache again, a fourth consecutive year they've had to settle for second best here at the Denmark Open. Well, there's no question the Koreans deserved that. They were the better pair. And I questioned in my own mind at the beginning of the year why Kim Ha-na was only concentrating on the mixed doubles. I wasn't sure whether it was the correct decision or not, because of course she used to have a wonderful women's doubles partnership with Jung Kyung-eun. But she's come of age today. That was brilliant. Confirmation of the score, 20-22, 21-18, 21-9 in the deciding game in an hour and 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for the prize-giving ceremony for the mixed doubles.
So as you hear, prize presentation coming up now for the mixed doubles. Well, what a wonderful way to get off finals day here at the Yonex Denmark Open. Great skills on display.
Series 2015 medalists. Runner-up from Indonesia, Tontowi Ahmad, Liliyana Natsir.
So, a fourth consecutive year that they finish second best here at the Denmark Open.
With the final score of 20-22, 21-18, and 21-9 from Korea, Go Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na.
Well, in their first ever Premier Super Series tournament final, they take their first ever Premier Super Series title. So the medals will be presented by the BWF President, Paul Erik Hoyer Larsen, IOC member, and former champion here, of course, at the Denmark Open. He was Olympic gold medalist in Atlanta in 1996 and now leads the BWF at the helm. And I know he will have enjoyed that mixed doubles final. The trophies, the medals, and it is lovely that the youngsters preparing all the trophies and the flowers, and you can just about see that they're dressed up. There we go, in the costumes of some of the stories from Hans Christian Andersen, famous author of poems and children's fairy tales, who of course was born here in Odense.
Major Culture, Sport and Urban Division of the City of Odense. Ladies and gentlemen, your medalists at the Yonex Denmark Open 2015.
Well, the way they've played today, they are a real threat, and that's on the back of 2 consecutive Super Series semi-finals in both Japan and Korea. Go Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na.
There will now be a short interview with the winners.
Kim Ha-na and Sung-hyun, congratulations. What went well for you today?
이번 그 경기의 그 성공 요인이 뭘까요?
그냥 뭔가 오늘 이번엔 좀 잘 됐었던 것 같아요. 그냥 뭐
So in general, it just went well. Everything was smooth.
And how much does this victory here in Denmark mean to you?
이번 덴마크에서의 승리가 의미하는 바가 어떤 게 있을지.
일단 내년 리오 올림픽에 가는 랭킹 포인트를 좀 여기가 프리미어 점수가 좀 높아서 리오 올림픽에 가는데 좀 더 유리하게 작용하게 된 것 같고요. 그리고 한층 더 자신감을 얻고 가는 것 같아요.
So I think this winning will be good advantage for next year's Olympics, and also they get a lot of good confidence from this winning.
Thank you.
Yes, well, I concur with that. In my opinion, they have just put themselves up into the realms of contenders, not only for medals, but perhaps gold medals at the Rio Olympics next year.
Unfortunately, Xiao Yunlei has retired from the
Well,
tournament
as you can
due
probably
to
hear with
injury.
the
That means
public
that the
address,
women's
our next
category
final, the
will
women's
be won by
doubles, will
Yoo
not
Kyung-won
happen
and
because
Shin
Xiao
Seung-chan
Yunlei
without any match.
has
We will continue with the men's doubles
withdrawn
after the prize ceremony.
because
In a minute,
of injury.
we will be ready for the prize ceremony in the women's doubles.
Well, there's certainly no sign of injury I didn't see during their semi-final yesterday, but that's desperately disappointing. But it does mean, Steen, that the qualifiers, Jung Kyung-eun and Shin Seung-chan, become the first ever qualifiers to win a Super Series women's doubles title. And surprisingly, that was the only discipline of the 5 disciplines where a qualifier, up until now, had never won a Super Series.
Oh. Yeah.
So in case you're curious, as far as men's singles is concerned, well, Simon Santoso won the 2014 Singapore Super Series as a qualifier. Yes. Women's singles, Akane Yamaguchi,
16 years of age or something like that.
16 years of age, won the Japan Open, beating another qualifier in the final. Men's doubles, it's happened a couple of times. Mixed doubles, of course, it was Zhang Nang and Xiao Yunlei, 2010 All England as qualifiers. And look what they've gone on to achieve. So now all 5 disciplines at the Super Series level have been won by qualifiers. Here in Denmark, Jung Kyung-eun and Shin Seung-chan.
In the women's doubles category, please welcome from China, Jiang Qing and Xiao Yunlei.
So the world and Olympic champions. While they were beaten finalists here in 2011 by Wang Xiaoli and Yu Young.
Presented by Denisa from Korea, Yoo Kyung-won and Shin Seung-chan.
Well, for Shin Sung-chan. She'd never been beyond a quarter-final of a Super Series prior to this, and here she is. She's gone away with a Premier Super Series title. It's been an interesting path for this Korean pair, Steen, hasn't it? Because they only played 3 tournaments together in 2014 and then reformed their partnership at the Japan Open just last month. And here they are. Well, they had a semi-final in the Korean Super Series, having beaten in the quarterfinal Ma Jing and Tang Yuan-ting. Here, they won the title. Disappointing way, of course, Steen, for them to win their first title, but,
yeah, but
it's still a title.
It's still a title, and they look happy, and they celebrated their win yesterday against Kakiwa and Maeda. They were extremely happy.
Yes.
Especially Kyung Jong, and that's, of course, very good for them that they sort of get this victory here, because if you're a new pairing, you need the points, and yeah, that's just going to be absolutely fantastic for them. And I mean, they celebrated yesterday as if they knew that they were going to win this tournament, that it was the decisive match.
Now, we're not quite sure when the injury occurred and when the decision was made that Zhao Yunlei couldn't compete, but I hope the news of the withdrawal filtered through to the Korean men's doubles pair, the #1 seeds, because of course they wouldn't have been expecting to come onto court quite as quickly as this. Of course, I'm sure that the Chinese men's doubles pair in the final will have been aware. Their team manager will have said, look, Zhao Yunlei is struggling.
Yeah.
She won't be able to play, so they would have been aware. But I think it's very fortuitous that our first final went the full distance, because of course that's given the Korean men's doubles pair more time to get themselves ready for the start of the men's doubles final. But the extraordinary thing, Steen, I'm going to leave you with one lovely stat from the women's doubles, and this is the 9th different pair to win in the 9th Super Series tournament of the year.
And that also shows that behind stats is always a story that a lot of pairs from especially China are sort of switching partners.
And indeed Korea.
And in Korea as well, yeah.
Well, this is how they won yesterday, their semi-final against Maeda and Kakiwa. And it was a tough old match, wasn't it? I mean,
it was a tough match, but reasonably convincing victory in the end.
Yeah, 21-11, 21-15, but that took an hour. And we had one rally that was an absolute marathon. Not the longest rally of the tournament, but 110 shots.
There's the winning shot.
Yeah, and they really were delighted, weren't they? And that's absolutely terrific.
Congratulations. How does it feel to win this trophy?
우승 트로피를 받게 되신 소감이 어떤지?
일단 아직까지 기분이 좀 실감이 잘 안 나는데 파트너 바꾸고 첫 우승이라서 너무 기쁘고 다음 시합까지 잘할 수 있도록 할게요.
So she still cannot believe it, and then after she changed her partner as a first winning. So yeah, she will keep this winning, and then we'll do the next prepare next game well as well.
How has it been to play this tournament in Denmark?
그 덴마크에서 토너먼트 하시는 그 소감이 어떻는지 물어보.
일단은 체육관도 되게 아담하니 좋고요. 일단 괜찮은 것 같아요.
It's very cozy inside here, so it was in general a very nice experience.
Thank you.
Yes, it is a very intimate stadium, the crowd very close to the players, and the players do like that. They do enjoy that atmosphere that is created. Well, walkover for Jung and Shin. Next up is the men's doubles, then we'll have the women's singles and finish with the men's singles. So plenty more action to come. So our next final is that men's doubles, the #1 seeds Lee Yong-dae and Yu Young-sung up against more qualifiers, Lu Cheng and Lu Kai.
In 6 minutes, we're ready to commence with the men's doubles final.
Well, we've just heard an announcement. In 6 minutes, we will commence with the men's doubles final. I guess maybe the Koreans didn't get news of the withdrawal quite so quickly. Well, I can tell you, as far as the Super Series standings are concerned, the top 3 will remain the same because, obviously,